welcome to the quick hitter version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks from Pure Hoops Media. I'm Monica McNutt. My co-host King McClure isn't with me this week, but he'll be back. Our featured discussion, however, for this show is with Ashton Keys and Jared Humer, co-founders of Athletic, as we discuss college athletes cashing in, finally. So give me an example of how this works. Let me just be, a matter of fact, I'll be a student at Georgetown again. Do I call y'all up? Y'all come looking for me? Like, how do you envision helping student athletes without being adversarial to universities and colleges?
Yeah, so essentially what you would do is sign up for our platform. So you'll create an account profile and connect your platform, so all of your social media accounts. And then from there, you would actually highlight what you are looking to do. So like whether you want to do appearances or you want to do like actual sponsored posts on your social media account. Once you have that set, we also, if you don't know exactly like what your pricing or things that you want to charge for these different endorsements, we actually can give you a recommendation based on your connected social media accounts and look at all those different statistics that we have from that. And then from there, brands will be able to see that you are open and available to do certain endorsements and deals that you've highlighted. And then they can make a request to you directly through that platform. So they'll send a request like, hey, Monica, we want you to promote this product on this platform and do the XYZ for the campaign. They'll send you a campaign brief and different things of that nature. Once you get that request, you can either accept or deny it. So it'll come straight through to you. You can either accept or deny it, or you will counter it based on what you think it's worth. So if you feel like, oh, they're asking me to do too much, you can counter it to say like, oh, this is worth this amount, as well as have that communication directly through our platform. Once the request comes in though, the university automatically gets notified of all requests. So a university will have, and that's something that's highlighted in laws, they have to have someone specifically dedicated to work, like you said, within that compliance space to oversee what's going on in NIL. So they'll get automatically notified, whoever that the university sets for that directly through the platform. And then if you accept it, you just have to make sure on our platform you'll submit that you've completed it. And then the brand has to also agree that you've completed it. And then that payment will come directly to you through the platform. So right now we're strictly, the main focus is digital endorsements and things of that nature. But we do want to move forward to some things such as appearances and things as well.
How big is this business, y'all? Because I can remember our ESPN college basketball seminar. Let's see, when was the pandemic? 2020, very weird year. So this must have been 2019, or was it? I think it was 2019. And it's clearly, when we had this conversation, there's a clear generational gap on the issue.
Yeah.
And, some of our more established coaches, some retired and now doing strictly TV, felt like this is going to change the game and make recruiting more of the Wild Wild West. It's basically free agency. Although I remember Seth Greenberg actually had a very forward-thinking stance. And he was kind of where I was in terms of there is an elite group that are your Zion Williamsons in terms of monetization, or even your Paige Beckers, right? And then there's everybody else who will be able to make a little piece of change, but are not going to make enough money to skip the entire college experience just off their name, image, and likeness. What do you guys say to folks that are still sort of shaking their head at this idea of allowing kids to benefit cash as opposed to just picking up free degrees?
You take that, Ashton.
Yeah, I think, and we've had a lot of conversations with people where I think it's a lot of benefit on both sides. So just a couple universities we talked to and a couple people, they talk about how even at my university, some of these student athletes are massive when it comes to the local city. So East Lansing, Michigan State, so like Tum Tum, I don't even know if you remember Tum Tum Nar, but he was huge at East Lansing. Like he had a massive following. Everybody knew him. Every restaurant loved him. And he could have made a killing if he had the opportunity to monetize his name, image, and likeness in that local area. All the restaurants would have benefited of having his face and name to be able to promote that. And I think that's where the benefit comes when you think of like the localization of the different opportunities, because there's so many of these local places like restaurants, car washes, car salesmanship of that area within the college, as well as the regional area, that these athletes have massive followings and audience, and they could really benefit from that. And I think it's one of those things where, and we've seen it as well, all the universities are, and if you see it on Twitter, announcing how they have this competitive branding edge. So I do see it becoming like a recruiting thing, but everyone is announcing the same thing. So I look at it in the future where every university will have a branding coach. Every university will have somebody dedicated to help athletes figure out how to be an influencer. And I do think that can actually be a benefit. I know I talked about this before, where I worked with the university at Michigan State just to help athletes understand how to be public figures. And this actually could be something that helps them in their career, such as not actually posting derogatory words, not posting them partying, not posting themselves drinking and things of that nature. So like if they already starting this early, even if they go into the workforce, having this mindset of I'm a public figure, I'm a brand, and being able to brand yourself actually can be beneficial for an athlete as they take that next step, and they'll have some of those skill sets that they can translate to the workforce. I think could be super impactful if they start thinking of it earlier.
If you'd like to hear more from Ashton Keys and Jared Humer, check out the full version of Buckets, Boards, and Blocks with me, Monica McNutt, and my co-host, King McClure. Also, if you want to watch us, we're on YouTube.